Good morning and welcome to the September 9th Let's Talk. Is that right?
I think so, because it's after Labor Day.
Wow. Where does the time go?
It goes way too fast.
It does. So lots has been happening the last couple weeks at Westminster Village. We did start in-person, a little bit of contact family visits on Tuesday, and I know those have been busy. I seen our camera person just ran off because we have two people double booked for 10:40 at 1 o'clock. So family visits seem to be going pretty well. I've heard a lot of good comments.
And if they're coming at 1 o'clock, they can go over to the farmer's market. That's open from 1 to 3.
Yeah, but visitors can't go to the farmer's market.
But they can send the family member. It's over by the entrance to Ocotillo.
Yeah, so we did have and are having from 1 to 3 today a very limited, socially distanced farmer's market. It looked great. I'm not sure what farm they get those milk duds and licorice from, but I did see those when I walked by, and I'm pretty interested in the licorice.
I didn't see those on my grocery order form. I had to settle for the trail mix. I might find something good in that.
Yeah, I saw some pretty good stuff. They had some vegetables and stuff too, but the candy looked pretty good to me. And now we're already off track, so family visits, a really good thing happening in independent living. As we talked about in the 360 letter that went out, we can't start those in-person minor contact visits in the licensed area yet. We have to wait for Maricopa County to turn green. Once that happens, we'll be able to have those in the care center as well. We have been doing more compassion visits in there, so there have been more families that have been able to get in there where there's more of a medical need or a end-of-life compassion type need. We're doing those. So seeing more people on campus, which is fantastic. I know I was at the front desk yesterday and saw a resident who probably had 8 people waiting on the patio of 1040 for a visit, which was fantastic to see multi-generations here visiting grandma and look like maybe even great grandma.
Yeah, that's really nice. I think that's been a long time coming.
Yep, and again, we're able to do that now and think we can do it safely. We're using the Abbott testing machine. We did buy our second machine about 2 weeks ago, so we now have one on each level of care, one for the healthcare center and assisted living, and one that's stationed over here in independent living that home health operates. Makes it a lot easier for us to do the number of tests we're doing. Just a huge improvement. So those who donated for the Abbott testing and the actual testing program, it surely is appreciated. It's going a long ways, and again, the fact that we can see the benefits of that, and people can reap the benefits of that, of having an in-person visit, is fantastic. It also is used as part of our plan testing and for-cause testing of staff, of contract vendor partners, and of residents as well. So we're getting a lot of use out of those machines. And we still are using other outside labs as well. We're not relying 100% on that, but those tests that get results back within 15 minutes or so really make a huge difference. So again, we appreciate those donations. It just is, again, getting life back to some sense of normal on campus. We also on Monday went from the 10-day isolation to a pure 5-day isolation. 5 days and 5 days, now it's pure 5 days. And our goal is on the 21st, if Arizona, Maricopa County, Westminster Village continue on the same trend, on the 21st, we'll go to a 3-day isolation if you leave campus with 2 additional days of symptom checks and the face shield over the mask. Again, I think that's been a big improvement. And again, it's not 100% safe out in the valley. It never will be. It never was. But we feel good about being able to make this change as the numbers decrease in Arizona. And the reality is there aren't a lot more people leaving campus because they can, but just knowing that you can, I think, gives a sense of relief to a lot of people. So that change is a good change. And our goal is, if the trend continues on October 5th, to going to no days of isolation, but 5 days of symptom checks and mask and shield. So we'll talk about that more, but that is our goal, October 5th, to move in that direction. Again, with the hopes that Arizona stays and continues to get safer, Westminster Village stays safe. And again, our hopes are when we do go in that direction, that doesn't mean everybody leaves campus every day. Don't take risks you don't need to take. But we also don't want people to not go to a needed doctor's appointment or something that they need to do that's a good risk because of the isolation period. And it also gives us time to see what's going to happen with the schools. We just had a 3-day holiday in the state, so it gives us an opportunity before we make those changes to decide, is there an uptick in the number of cases, or is Arizona remaining on the right trend?
Yes, when I watch the news on TV, so often when they're talking about the virus, they throw up a map of the United States, and they do the states that are currently in a higher rate of cases, and it's really nice to just see at a glance that Arizona isn't one of those brightly colored states. It just keeps reinforcing that we are getting better.
Yeah, and it's good. And we look at the numbers every single day for the state, for the county. And again, one of the things I know from driving around is there's a lot of people out in Arizona that are now working and are out hiking and in the grocery stores, and our numbers continue to go down. So again, we saw that big increase when the state first opened up, and it's been heading down since then, even with quite a bit of activity around the state. The good news is there's lots of us not doing that, but I think many Arizonans are kind of already getting back to normal, and we haven't seen an uptick in the cases. But again, we'll see with the 3-day holiday, we'll see with the schools opening. Many of the schools have now been open, I think, almost 3 weeks. Others have only been open about a week and a half, so we'll know in the next 10 days or so what Arizona's going to look like. And again, we're encouraged that we're headed in the right direction, and we can continue to get back to some sense of normalcy and open our services and do it in a safe manner. One of the other things that's opening tomorrow is the Fabulous Finds. So our little shop run by volunteers will be opening. Now they have some modifications. I think they're only allowing one person in at a time. But I know that's one of the favorites of our staff to be able to go in, and it's a great way for volunteers to provide services on this campus. So I know staff and residents are excited about the opening tomorrow, and I forgot the hours, so call Megan if you want to know the hours. What's her number?
She's available 24/7. Her number is 2477. Does she know where the shop is located?
I think she's been there before.
I haven't been there, so I can't tell you where it is, but I'm sure that if you ask around, you can find where it is.
Great. So you got to tell me about the Saturday drive-arounds. I don't know about this.
Oh, the Saturday drive around? Well, there's people who have cars parked here. A lot of people are trying to keep them in driving condition, so when they have to go out to the doctor or something. And they do that by driving around the circle around the building, but every time you get to the gate to enter back in, someone from the guard shack has to come over and let you in, and if it's really hot and sunny out, he kind of gives you a look, like, why are you doing this to me? So they've started on Saturday afternoons leaving the gates open from 2 to 3 o'clock, so you can drive your car around 2 or 3 times without having the gate attendant having to come over and help you out. And it can be a little bit of a parade. You don't have to decorate your car, but you can drive. And my guess is that more people, you know, with the state opening up a little bit more, people are going to feel a little bit freer to go to the doctor or the dentist, and they'll want their car in operating condition. And if you need help getting your car started, because it's been sitting, you can call concierge, and they will help you with that. Megan doesn't know anything about what's under the hood, so she's off the hook. So watch for that, and we'll see how it goes.
Right. So I saw somebody out washing their car in the car wash area this morning, and I thought, well, since COVID started, I don't think I've washed my car. I'm wondering if I take it over there, if there's volunteers that will wash my car. What do you think?
Well, when they were making up that heart-to-heart survey and program, I wanted them to add car wash to that list. And I was gonna check, yeah, I can use that once a week.
Yeah. So are you saying I'm not gonna get my car washed?
Only if it rains,
Perfect.
or one of the sprinklers
Breaks.
breaks and your car's in the right spot.
One can hope.
Yeah.
Oh, so we did have a suggestion early on about small group activities and being able to play some games. And over the last, I don't know, 5 weeks now, we've been adding games. We have the cornhole game here that's available in Chapman-Nuremberg Hall, and I'm gonna lose, probably. Oh, that was almost a workers' comp accident.
Oh, at least mine stayed on
Yeah.
the board. One more?
Sure. I think that's a foul if it hits the net.
What do I get, lunch with Tom?
Lunch with Tom, through the plexiglass, and you buy, and we're all set.
I'll order in.
Okay. So we've set up some games. We have a couple of ping pong tables. We have the indoor basketball game, a foosball table, and I don't know if you can see it over in the corner by the fish tank. We have the beginning of an indoor driving range. So I'm not sure because Megan had to run off and figure out a family visit, but that indoor driving range should be up and going in the next week or so. So again, if you're getting bored and you're feeling a little bit locked in, come on into Chapman-Nuremberg Hall or the fitness room and get a little bit of exercise and a little bit of socialization. Wear your mask. For the most part, you can stay a pretty good distance and play, but have a little bit of fun. And it's great seeing that happening. I got invited to play ping pong later this afternoon, so.
4 o'clock?
I don't know what time. She just said she'd stop by my office.
Okay. I don't golf, but I've seen what's here, and I've heard a lot of people talking that it's the kind of golf training, fun, that you bring your own clubs to. So it can help you get ready for this fall's golf season.
Yeah, and I think Mike's trying to figure out how we can serve some appetizers and maybe some drinks in here as well. So.
What kind of drinks?
Sodas. Just sodas.
Okay.
Maybe wine. Or beer.
Sodas before golf and wine and beer after.
After.
We have to watch the windows.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's gonna work with the indoor driving range, but it should be entertaining. Maybe, maybe when they get it set up, we can have the Let's Talk at the driving range.
Sounds good.
Todd is working with Summit to get the gym back open on a limited basis. We're gonna have to make some moving of furniture. We had talked originally about when we open the gym, putting some new equipment in there. So we're looking at ordering at least to begin with one new treadmill. We've had a lot of requests to leave some of the equipment spread around campus as it's been during this. So we'll probably leave that out for a while longer, as there's not enough space in there to socially distance and have every piece of equipment back in there. So we'll see the gym coming back to life slowly over time, hopefully by the end of the month. Along with that, we feel like we're ready to, again, because we can do the Abbott rapid test, to bring the trainers back in and start doing some of the in-person fitness and yoga classes. So again, we'll see what that time frame looks like, but we're hoping by the end of the month or by the 5th that we can have a couple of classes a week back in person. We will still have the ones on channel 22, and we're working on putting a camera like we have for the Let's Talk in Chapman-Hurlburt in the fitness room, so that forevermore we can have the live classes broadcast through our internal channels to residents who want to participate in those, but don't want to leave their apartment. Again, that was one of the, we talk about there's some good things that have come with COVID. The internal channel, the fitness classes in your apartments, those have been a huge positive to residents. So we plan to continue that as we move out of, having to do everything separated from each other. So those classes, when they come back, they'll be limited in size, and they'll be limited days, but we will, again, if we see the case level in Arizona continue to decline or remain the same, we'll see those hopefully back by the end of this month.
I know that I haven't been, I don't get channel 22, that's my excuse for not participating in the fitness classes. But I do have a recumbent bike in my apartment, and I try to visit it every day. And the two cats have turned my kitchen island into a shuffleboard court. Anything I leave on there slides from one end to the other. So I'll be happy when we have fitness classes again. I can send them out to do those kinds of things.
Yeah, and so I too have a recumbent bike at my house, and I've been married now for 25 years, and during that time, about every 4 to 5 years, my wife or I want a treadmill or a bike or some sort of fitness equipment that eventually becomes a place to put the folded clothes on when they come out of the dryer. And then we eventually go, we gotta get rid of this, because all it is a fancy clothes hanger or holder. And we do that over and over and over. So those bikes and homes really get a lot of good use out of them. Really good investment.
I use them for a drying rack too. You can drape stuff over the front and drape stuff over the seat. Yeah, it works real good.
Yep. So I'll be happy to see your cats over in the fitness class doing yoga. That's going to be great.
They do yoga every day, all day, standing and stretching, looking at the people next to them, seeing what they're doing. They're not interested in any of the dog poses.
They don't do downward dog or upward dog or any of that?
Nope, it's run and hide if anybody mentions dog.
Yeah. I don't know how we transitioned from yoga to the cafe opening, but we'll figure that out. So October 5th.
There's a shortcut from my apartment to the Garden Cafe. Because I just go outside and go around the pool and right in, so there's your transition.
All right. The Garden Cafe will open to in-person dining on October 5th. Again, contingent upon the state of Arizona and Westminster Village remaining on the same trend, but the cafe's been open the whole time, but to take out and pick up. But we'll have in-person dining again, like Ocotillo, it'll be fairly limited. We'll have some plexiglass dividers and those kinds of things, but again, a step of getting back to some sense of normalcy. And I think that's something people are really looking forward to is that cafe being able to open. I did ask Mike, and I think on the 21st we go back to China and silverware. So I know that's an exciting piece in the restaurants. So we again feel pretty good about that. They're checking inventories and making sure all the stuff we put away 4 or 5 months ago is still where it should be. But sometimes when things set for 4 or 5 months, we have to buy some more supplies. But I believe the 21st is the day that comes back. So when the cafe opens, it'll be served on china with silverware, forks that don't break. No more eating with sporks. That's what they give us in the employee dining room. It's a spork, and those are pretty tough to eat with.
I can do the fork and the spoon, but the plastic knife doesn't really cut anything other than like spaghetti. So that will be very welcome to everyone. There's people who want to drink coffee out of a real cup.
Yeah, it's been a long, like a camping experience almost with the plastic silverware and the styrofoam plates and some of that kind of stuff for the employees. The good news is though, the residents got that heavy duty plastic stuff. The employees sometimes had the stuff you could see through, and even the fork sometimes broke when you put it into the pasta, and you just, instead of getting your fingers dirty, you held the 2 pieces of plastic together to pick up your food. So I'm hoping we get real silverware in the employee break room as well. I think that'll be a treat for us.
I wonder how many people will choose, even after you get real silverware and real plates, will still choose to get delivery to their apartment, because we've got, they've gotten so good at it that your food arrives hot and it's already in the plastic container that you're going to put the leftovers in the fridge. So
yeah, and I think like we see now even in Ocotillo, we're not full. Not everybody's ready to go back to normal. I was sharing with somebody, this is on Friday, I went to the grocery store for the first time since February. It's the first time I was in a grocery store. And what's weird about it is I didn't want to go. I was kind of, there were lanes I wouldn't go down or aisles I wouldn't go down. I was just kind of, and I didn't think I was going to be that way. But I was just kind of, I don't think I'm ready to be in the grocery store yet. I'm lucky my wife has done all the shopping during this so that I could stay safe to be at work. So I want to say it's normal because I feel that way. It's normal that not everybody's going to be ready to go back and use every service that we open. But the good news is, just like before COVID, people get to choose what they want to do. If they're more comfortable eating in their apartment, they can eat in their apartment. If they're comfortable in Ocotillo, they can do that. If they want to go to their kid's house, they can do that. And again, it's about everybody making good choices to what they're comfortable with. We expect and we plan from the beginning that the delivery services that we put in place because of COVID will remain open, for as long as we see a need, but not just COVID related. The delivery we've always had has always had a pretty big need ever since the reconstruction, and we think it'll continue to remain high. We don't foresee Ocotillo, the cafe, being full every day like it once was, not for quite a while. I think people are gonna continue to be a little hesitant, and I think that's good. We all need to stay on guard. As we open up, we're not opening up saying everything is perfectly safe. There's still risk, and each individual has to make that risk assessment on their own of what risk level they're willing to take. And we're hopefully gonna be able to give people lots of good choices.
Yes, we've always had good choices, and they expanded to delivery. And people are looking forward to it, but people are scared. You know, you go into your doctor's office and you wonder what the people sitting in the waiting room are there for, and you got your fingers crossed. But when you go out in the real world, everybody's got a mask on. And that's just a stark change.
I would say there's a lot of masks on, but there's quite a few people who I see don't follow the rules. And again, I've not been in a lot of places. I was in one grocery store, and again, there were a number of aisles I didn't go down because the people in that aisle, even though every sign on the door says you're required to wear a mask, they weren't. I had to go in to pay for gas inside one day because the credit card machines aren't working, and I was the only one in the gas station with a mask on that day. Now, normally I see lots of people as I'm getting gas, they're wearing their masks inside, but I was the only one that day, and it was one of those things where you go, not the whole world is following the rules. I think a good amount, but not the whole world.
People have to set their own for themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what it all comes down to.
And I think one of the other things that's happening is the Donnelly's will be opening. So Mike and his team, Pat, they're looking at opening sometime in November. So as we get closer, we'll figure out what that date looks like and being able to get Donnelly's back open so all of our restaurants will be open. We'll continue to have the delivery service, which is fantastic. And then one of the other things, I don't know if Tom's still there, but Tom, can you pan the camera to our right? Hey, he's still there, a little bit further. So one of the cool things happening tonight is the Donnelly staff is setting up a dinner. So the healthcare center is getting ready to come off their 28-day strict isolation. And as you'll all probably recall, we had a positive test in the healthcare center of a resident. We believe it was a false positive. We had all the other tests taken within 72 hours. We eventually did an antibody test, that came back negative. The other 4 tests came back negative. We think it was a false positive, but the state doesn't recognize false positives. So we had to go through a very strict isolation period and have 28 days without another positive to kind of get back to normal. And we're there as of today. So we're doing a special dinner for the healthcare center residents. We're spreading them out. They're having, you can see there's the china and the silverware. They're getting their first real dinner in a while. So it's a celebration for over there. And the team's coming together and doing it. And again, using the china and the glass and the silverware is the test to being able to start that with the rest of the campus on the 21st. So pretty exciting news for them. It was a rough 28 days with the isolation. I know we have family members of residents that are in Independent that couldn't have the visits. It's been a hard time over there, harder than it has on the rest of the campus, and they deserve a celebration for the job they're doing.
All I see is they're getting real dishes before we are. That's really nice. I know that the 28-day isolation has just been really it's not just hard on the residents, it's hard on the staff. Because you're adding a whole nother level of precaution to what they're doing. And I think that, of anybody on campus, those are the people, who had to isolate themselves the most to protect the people that they care for. And, they really deserve our appreciation for that.
And I think that's everything on our list, so anything new for you?
Well, I wasn't gonna tell you until right before I go. I have to go out to San Diego for a week. So that's the 18th. I'll be here next week. You'll be okay.
Do you need somebody to carry your bags?
Yeah,
Let me check with Mr. Bonell and see if I can get the time off.
okay. You get to take time off?
Probably not. Not to go to San Diego.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to that. It kind of helps to have something out there that you're looking forward to. And right now, we have a lot with the quarantine periods going down, being able to visit people in healthcare and assisted living just around the corner. We got farmers market today. The restaurants all opening. We've got a lot to look forward to.
All right, well, thank you again, and thank you all. We'll be back next week.
See you later. I guess we tied.
No, I think you won. Hey, thanks for abandoning us.
It seemed like you guys did great.
We got off track a lot.